Bungalow Bill here, and welcome back to Live Wood Neater. This time will be a campaign session instead of a building session. If you are new to this series, it is a series where I take on the easy difficulty of Neater, except I do it with all wooden ships that are built entirely in the campaign mode itself, even including sub-objects and prefabs and that sort of thing. Anything that I prefab or sub-object must also be built in the campaign mode. Although due to a bug, I load it into the designer mode, capture the sub-object, and then go back into the campaign mode, which is a little bit awkward. I have recently finished taking all of the Lightning Hood's territory, and now I'm going to push into the White Flayers. Also, I believe the last building episode will be my last building episode for the series. From here on out, I intend to try to win with just the vehicles that I've already built, so that I can focus my building time on other projects that I want to work on instead. Here we have the first battle against the White Flayers, and it is a quite lopsided one. We have a Buzzsaw and a Charger, which are both melee vehicles with some APS, but they are highly volatile. And they are against the Incredible Husk, which is outfitted with lasers, so assuming those lasers actually come to bear, they should just annihilate the White Flayers' targets. I'm holding all of the weapons, which would completely stop that from happening. We may actually have a little bit of issue against the White Flayers to some respects, because depending on the caliber of their weapons, we will not be able to see them with our lambs in time to take them out, and they do love their kinetic weaponry. However, our lasers, as well as our Sea-Wiz guns, were enough to take those two small enemy craft out fairly quickly. And then for the second battle shown against the White Flayers, we have a Valkyrie against an Incredible Husk and the most venerable ship, the Poly Warrior. This may very well be the second Poly Warrior that gets rammed, but we'll see. Now, it looks like the Valkyrie is going to leave the Poly Warrior alone. The Valkyrie is capable of doing some actual damage. It looks like I may have not actually set any hold fire energy on those laser turrets, because I'd expect them to stop shooting, although I might not be able to tell if they flickered on and off very quickly. Reasonable amount of laser damage done. These cram cannons aren't going to get any work done this fight, unfortunately, so very reliant on lasers, and then Sea-Wiz when it's not shooting down missiles. I'm assuming that Sea-Wiz has kept us reasonably healthy, although the Poly Warrior missile barrages are going to do quite the chunk. After hitting Control Caps Lock enough times, we'll eventually get a lock on. Looks like we're holding out okay. Rambot Repair Tentacles doing a little bit of work, but probably not a huge amount. Mostly relying on active defenses to keep us safe, as well as the Valkyrie's somewhat underwhelming armaments. As we're at 99% of the Poly Warrior, it took damage from something. But the Incredible Husk, with the one set of Repair Tentacles from Rambot, is staying healthy enough. These camera changes can't come to alpha soon enough. I did ask, politely, I think, on the forums, or the discords, but maybe someday. The Valkyrie actually tanked quite a bit of damage there. I'm usually accustomed to the White Flayers craft just detonating, but she stood up for a long time, although we couldn't actually shoot at her with our main guns. Alright. It is the first combat test for the most cursed ship that I've ever built, the Paper Tiger, which is hopefully not going to get annihilated by a Charon and a Thrasher. Let's see how she does. These railguns are going to be really scary. They're the natural enemy of wooden vehicles, and I didn't bother to put shields on her. Oh, I also didn't put target blocks above the waterline, so it looks like we're splashing a few shells down into the water. The things you forget to do. So far, so good on the health on our part. I was expecting to see some explosions already, but it looks like the paper armor of the Thrasher may not be surviving her APHE that well, and indeed her firepower has been completely destroyed. Yes, those shells are not treating her fairly well. Bring up the damage numbers. Yeah, some significant internal detonations on her part, and the Charon itself has already despawned. Wrong button. I was focusing on my own craft because I was expecting some holes to be torn in them, but the white flares, despite not being made out of cardboard, are just about as volatile as my ships are, if not more. Although, one of my ships is definitely going into the position to terminate one of the other ones at this moment. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was friendly fire right there. Don't think it was that bad, though. Right, no armor is best armor. I think we may have gotten a through and through from one of our own shells, it's hard to tell. I don't have depth fuses set on my guns. I actually never have them set, because I prefer to overpen than underpen. It means that if my ships shoot each other, though, they shouldn't at least get internal detonations. Okay, this battle is not too dissimilar from the last one, except this time we're against the Slasher, which sounds and looks fairly similar, and we only have one Paper Tiger. Of course, there are more vehicles in this fleet. I have the battle size set down really low so that my own fleet is only spawning one vehicle. The enemy fleet only has one vehicle. And the Slasher costs 450,000. We cost 410,000, so we're up there too, but our armor leaves something to be desired, so... Right, our ability to fend off against packs is near 0. Hopefully our angle of heal isn't stopping us from firing. There we go, that's a nice hit. It's hard to tell if there's anything left to that gun or not. Ooh, yeah, yikes. We're still at 95%. Slasher not actually down to too little firepower. We're relying on lambs currently for missile defense that may not do well for us right here. We are still firing and we're still putting out some pretty good confetti, although a few not amazing shots, a little bit lower on our percentage. We're still beating the Slasher at the moment, which is decent. Those were some very, very nice internal explosions. I see processing cards going all over the place right there. Slasher's sitting a bit below the water now. Those are particle accelerator cannon components. We are threatening to beach ourselves. We have damage going all the way through the middle. Fortunately, not the AI compartment. And it looks like our laser power is still up there, as well as actually pretty much everything. We are designed to fight at quite a long range, but let's go hard to starboard right now. I should target above water components, but it looks like we're actually doing some reasonable damage below the water line right now. Our ability to yaw may not be the best. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to have rudders. I didn't make this boat terribly redundant. Actually, I'm not sure what's making us turn right now. Curious. I think there might be a propeller or something. Anyway, we have successfully sunk the Slasher and attained victory. Alright, I went and I clicked on the absolute largest concentration of White Flare's vehicles that I could find. I don't really know what's in here. I mean, I see some wreckers, but it's just sort of everything. Right now we have spawned in 1 Incredible Husk, 1 Paper Tiger. We'll see what we take out and what we don't. Nice bounce off that shield. I'm always really suspicious as soon as I see ion jets that those scream nuke to me. Hopefully our laser turrets focusing at nearby enemy vehicles will be able to keep the rams at bay. Do not have the strongest CWIS, but it still looks like it's doing well enough given the lightly armored nature of the enemy ramming vehicles. Wrecker looks like it's getting shredded decently. This nuke is a little bit more of a problem, and I think it's also attracting my main guns, which is not fantastic. Alright, the nuke has fortunately missed its first pass, although our detection settings seem to be leaving a little bit something to be desired to actually hit it. They should definitely be tuned up a little bit. Taking some CWIS and laser damage, but it's actually tanking pretty well. I'm assuming it's a nuke, at least I don't know the white flares crafts well enough. We've taken light damage, but not that bad. Oh, well, it wasn't that bad yet. I see some black confetti coming off now.
Receiving.
I'm sure it'll target eventually. Maybe. Never got the voice line. Right through, kind of as you'd expect. Must not have been quite as damaging as I would have liked. Yep, same thing there. We're going to get nothing but through and throughs on wreckers, at least. It's interesting that with our 45-degree field of fire that we're not getting any laser damage at all. Maybe we don't have any. Nope, we still have 31. Right now, it looks like we're trying to take Exopheric nuke out with them instead. Sharon, which I'm not that worried about. Let's see if we can fry the buzzsaw on its way in. Those torpedoes might be a little bit too close for us to stop them at this point. We do have torpedo defenses. I don't see any damage from them popping up. Oh, actually, I probably forgot to put detection on it. Yeah, I meant to put sonar on the Paper Tiger, and then I just kind of forgot. So I'm going to do that after this battle, but we're just going to have to take torpedoes until then. I did remember that I had forgotten, but I forgot why it was so important. Oh well, that's what happens when you don't combat test your vehicles. Buzzsaw looks severely crippled. I wonder if it's got any AI left at all. No, it does not. We're hitting something over to port. No idea what this is. I should. It's trying to shoot us with a particle cannon. Oh, I've fought these before, but I don't remember what they are. Piercer, 94%, or 94 particle cannon firepower. Paper Tiger's down to 85%. We are still safe in the captain's high chair, but we're taking some damage. We still have sufficient engines, sufficient batteries. Our main issue is probably with lack of firing restrictions, so that my forward gun isn't actually doing anything useful. It's just pointing right towards the superstructure. It's always something that I leave to the end, which causes me to forget it sometimes. Given the high rate of fire on this pack, we have presumably done critical damage to it. I think our barrels are a little short, but our inaccuracy might be more due to starting to lose detection. Whatever we've done, it's caused us to retarget. I'm going to go over and check out what we're shelling with our cram cannons. That's more fun than railguns anyway. Ooh, yeah, that might not be what we want. So that husk is still at 90%. The Paper Tiger is actually down to 75%. This isn't another piercer, no, it's a slasher. Alright, well, we fought one of these before, although we were at more than 75% when we did so. It's not like we don't have more backup, though. In addition to the incredible husk and Paper Tiger that we spawned, we do have 3 AWSs. I see some shells coming in for. We saw one before, but I think we have more now. And we have 1 incredible husk that will eventually spawn. So we've gotten 3 AWSs. Have not done enough damage to spawn the husk yet. Looks like there's some Sea-Wiz on the slasher, but not enough to stop that shell. However, I'm not sure the husk is actually doing that much at the moment. Down to 88%. Still shelling with some APHE though, and an explosion that big could only be from the husk APHE. And I think the slasher is basically the enemy flagship this fight. Not a good shot there. We really need a direct hit. Like that. That's a good hit. Not sure it really did what we wanted, but cracked into the boilers, although it looks like we only ruptured 2 of them. I see one on the top and one on the bottom. And we've done some critical damage to that gun there. Either taking out AI or something similar. Alright. Well, we're still functioning, which I think is good given this ship. Okay, so yeah, we're having torpedo issues. We're definitely having torpedo issues. The ship is still remarkably operable, though. Oh, we're getting rammed. Kind of. We got rammed a little bit. Just a little. This could have gotten really ugly. No wonder the game speed was slowing down so much. Well, this Paper Tiger is basically a write-off, but she did her job. She fought for a long time. I'm hoping the wood was enough EMP protection, because I don't have surge protectors on any of these ships. It doesn't really seem to be worth it. I think these spin block rams may start chewing into us soon. Our really low AC is going to be a problem. The angle of heal that we have is also going to be a little bit of a problem for our targeting. 66%, there's not even really much of a reason to retarget now. Well, this is the last ship that I think can really get rammed. What is this thing? The Pontus. Hopefully we can see it. We might need some manual fire to take it out. The Paper Tiger was supposed to be able to see it and help provide support that way, but it's not the case. I also didn't have my submarines in this fight, which would have been able to provide support in that direction. Oh, and here's a Dark Hammer, which we're also going to be having some trouble seeing. So right now we're still looking okay, but it really doesn't want to let us bring in our last husk. Total firepower in this one's 95, which isn't great. The Paper Tigers seem to weather damage much better. Still putting out some good shots until the end. That might be an AI dead as well. I saw AI cards. No, it doesn't look like it, although she's not really doing anything at this point. %, so we're going to despawn in a second. Does mean that we'll get a fresh AWS, which should really help mop up, or not fresh AWS, fresh Incredible Husk, which should really help mop up. But it's a shame because the Paper Tiger was doing so much. Let's check. No energy storage. Alright, well, she's not doing much anymore. Her guns are rail assist, so in theory she'll still do something, but it's not going to be that impressive. Probably be good to mix a few submarines into the fleets that have her in them. Also give her torpedo protection. That was a significant cause of her injuries. Alright, we have a fresh Husk coming in. That's presumably what the spawn... Yeah, there she is. What the spawn was. Looks like we might just barely pull this one through, although we're putting a lot of damage into what I'm assuming is a very dead slasher. Still does have missile firepower though, although I'm not sure it's actually firing anything. And it's despawning due to low health.
Listening.
We should presumably fire against something more useful instead, but I'm not really sure what that is. There's not a lot here that's probably that useful for the opponents at the moment. Oh, it looks like the Paper Tiger's still floating. 2 damage though. Yeah, that was bound to happen.
Engaging now.
Okay, we need to kill the Piercer. Because we have absolutely nothing that we can do about particle accelerator cannons. I don't know why I thought that was going to hit our airship, even though I knew it was fired by another one of ours. That's what I was looking for. Explosion pushed the Piercer underwater, but maybe didn't do anything useful, although that's a severed particle tube. So the Piercer should be all but done. Our frame rates should improve once our vehicle is finished despawning. And then I'll just let my boats target whatever they want to, although I may need a little bit of manual fire to take out some of the submarines at the end. Well, that poor Piercer. Friendly fire, friendly fire. No, not quite.
Engaging.
Yeah, so it looks like this Husk is going to be enough to clean things up. Check total damage numbers. Oh, they're respectable, I guess. Laser's definitely helping us out, although some of that'll be lambs. I heard a lot of cram firing noises and don't see any crams. But when you have no firepower left on them, they do that. So it must, presumably that's the injured one. Hopefully the relatively fresh one isn't doing that already. Still got one shell firing off the injured one though. See what we're looking like at the moment. Can't imagine we have much firepower left. At least we're still flying. 79, so it's something. Mostly laser damage if we have laser turrets left. It looks like they've both been trimmed, if they were even ever there before at all in this one. So it's basically going to be a very small amount of CWIS firepower, but it does have laser defenses, so it can soak up a few shots. Okay, we need to start chipping away at these. I don't think we really have any mechanism for shooting at them if I don't do this. Looks like we're gonna lose our AWSs to some shoreline damage. Oh yeah, well, that's just what happened. 2 damaged. 2 damaged. You kind of come to expect it when you use water skimmers enough. Alright, let's leave these all to their own thing now. Just a little bit of mopping up left. So I'll also build another paper tiger to replace that one. And then I'm going to have to retrofit them all with sonar because I kind of forgot the sonar. %, that one managed to escape the shoreline. Well, I believe this is going to be the last battle of the episode. I'm going to do my retrofitting after this. And then the next one will probably be cleaning up the white flares entirely if I can manage to do it. So, oh, there's still one left. I was getting ready to wrap up a little bit too soon. It was left for a very short period of time. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the future.